Oppenheimer. J. Robert Oppenheimer. The Trials and Tribulation of J. Robert Oppenheimer. Okay, it's in IMAX. I guess it's this same thing could have been seen on the History Channel if it's not already on the History Channel. But, you know, okay, the father of the atomic bomb. They show you how it was made. No, they really didn't see how that. They didn't show you somebody running around the hills with a Geiger counter looking for uranium here, Canada, South America, Africa, wherever they could get it, to find uranium that they can crush and ship to the United States, or you can crush and ship it to the United States. So they can crush it here, make yellow cake, take the yellow cake, stick it into a rods, pellets, pellets here, and then we're going to put it into a reactor. And they got to remember this. Were they using D2? Well, I guess they were using D2 back there. It's something you have to create. Yes, heavy water. Before you actually put something in there so it can absorb the neutrons. I guess you hit it with neutrons. You can look at how a nuclear reactor works and what they're doing. They slip the rods in, right? How they bundle the rods in, I guess. And basically, they're creating electricity? No, they're creating. They're looking for a waste. That's nuclear waste. And then what nuclear waste is? They dissolve it, the rods, in acid, and the whole thing. Well, you're looking at Oppenheimer sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because if something goes wrong, you want it to go wrong in the middle of nowhere instead of the University of Chicago on their stadium. Where's Stag Stadium buried again? But why did people go see this? Well, they're looking at the explosion. It's the same thing of looking at, why do people go to Indianapolis 500 to see a car go around a track 500 times? What are they looking for? Well, they're stupid. No. They're looking for an accident. Cars getting splattered, people dying or getting hurt. So Oppenheimer is basically, you're looking at the final stage of that thing. I would believe that you could find Oppenheimer on YouTube channels or YouTube somewhere. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube about Oppenheimer. I'm quite sure there was a documentary done on Oppenheimer's trials and tribulations of his life, his ups and downs, his loves. Yeah. As I said, it's a melodrama. And what you saw, I saw this stuff in black and white when I took nuclear physics at Northeastern University long ago, because the professor there was one of the scientists who worked on the Manhattan Project, which was great for a lot of people with IQs. I worked on the Manhattan Project. It's on my resume. You're hired. You're going to be teaching nuclear physics. Oh, it's not going to be fun. And some universities got nuclear reactors. Very few things. Because it was something about it could explode. Well, yes, it could. But that thing. One did. What was it? Idaho. That one. Yeah, there was one in Idaho. It was a nuclear reactor in a building, and they were experimental. And some guy was looking over it, down into it for some reason, and he had a wrench, and he dropped it. and across some of the rods. The D2 was immediately turned to steam. He went up into the rafters. The guy that was standing right next to him holding the ladder got nuked. I mean, he got boop, big blue flame, I guess, big blue charge. The guy that was standing outside of that thing hit an alarm system, which set all the alarms in place. The guy that was inside barely made it out of there. I mean, you look like fifth degree burns. The guy standing out there barely made it, but the people coming in there immediately saw all the flashing lights and they knew something went wrong. And they went in there with suits and lead shielding, and pulled the guys out, and all three of them were buried in lead coffins. But in Oppenheimer stuff, you saw how they made these wedges. They figured out we have to set all these off at the same time. Somebody had to sit there in the military and say, well, we're going to get all these explosives, TNT, and we're going to set, somebody had to do an experiment. All these people on all the long stages, they all didn't sit there and figure it out. They had to do all the stages because everything was being done from the beginning. Everything was new. The processing of the uranium, the massive amount of processing. And the other thing is, a lot of people died of lung cancer working on this project. Everybody was given masks. Guess what? It's like coal mining, black lung disease. Coal mining, nobody's right mind is going to work in a coal mine. But they work, Mining is extremely dangerous. Cave-ins, what have you. Even if let's say there were no cave-ins. But handling this stuff was, you wore gloves, you wore a mask. Okay. Handling plutonium, they had to figure it out how we're going to do this, and do we have the right everything. Everything was theory. And they figured, well, we're going to slap this stuff together. We need to do this. We need to have enough of this. And putting these things, and they said, well, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. And if you looked at some of the stuff after the initial 2 bombs dropped in Hiroshima, there was never a third one. Well, there was 3. The first one was experimental. Wow. Look at the big flashlight. And they told people, hit the ground, don't look on it, get below ground, you're going to get nuked. And people that actually were up close to it, with a mile or 2, got nuked. Well, they knew what a concussion was, but they didn't really understand what a concussion was. A lot of experimenting. But going out of that to the test grounds, people do that now. Look we got Trinity. What is it, Trinity? Little green things. It is illegal for you to pick that up and take it home with you. You can buy it at the local gift shop, but you can't pick it up off the ground. And you're walking around with radioactive stuff. I don't know why people do that. Oh, we want to see where the blast was. Really? Why don't you go to YouTube? But, as I said, it's a melodrama. I don't know why I bought the DVD. Bought the DVD. Yeah, Amazon had the DVD. Would I go out and see it in IMAX? No. Well, I'm going to want to see an 80-foot screen for the thrill of it. There's this little thing about, I had a professor who was Robert Edmonds, he was a director in Canada. He said, I get you into the theater. I control you, what you're going to see, what you're going to feel. Yeah. What you're going to smell. Smell? Oh, yeah. Smell. I can turn up the air conditioning. I can turn off the air conditioning. Another one, you're saying out there, you're in the middle of the desert, and you know what air conditioning is? Yeah. Guess which buildings did it have air conditioning in them? Guess which air conditioning was opening in 2 windows with fans? Would I want to go out there? No. What do they know about radiation? How do you convince a bunch of people things you don't do around radioactive material? Even now, how dangerous is radioactive material? I don't know. How dangerous is yellow cake, the substance you put in the reactors? It'll kill you. As a few thousand people in Iraq found out. Saddam Hussein bought 800 tons of yellow cake. They were building a nuclear reactor when he was trying to build it, which Saudi Arabia helped destroy, a French nuclear reactor. But he bought 800 tons of yellow cake. And great. And after that thing, one of his desire was to fly over Tel Aviv in an airplane, and yellow cake is radioactive. Fly over Tel Aviv and throw it out the doorway. Yes, little Piper Cubs fly over. You're not going to shoot at those things. And they just do is dump this, spraying this stuff out over Tel Aviv, which everybody would have to leave Tel Aviv. That's one of the things. Or send packages to the United States. FedEx. So what I say, a couple thousand people in Iraq found out what that thing is. They went to the stainless steel barrels containing yellow cake when Saddam found. They emptied out the yellow cake under the ground. Great. And used the stainless steel containers for water. What happened? They died of radiation poisoning. What happened to the yellow cake? It was blowing around Iraq. It's like, what happened to the yellow cake there? Canada bought it. Yeah, they bought the yellow cake. Big thing. Oh no, they didn't buy yellow cake. Yeah, it sounds like the gas centrifuges that people bought. Check with a company called Eventual about gas centrifuges. They're basically the ones, Rand bought 50,000 of them. Saddam, I presume, got some. I don't know what he would do with them, but I guess resell them, because he could buy them and then resell them. About the Manhattan Project, is it worth seeing in IMAX? To me, no. But if you like a good thrill, go ahead and see it, because you're looking at the atomic bomb going off. Boom! It fills the screen. Wowee! But hey, what am I going to say? See it on DVD. You got a large screen? Good. If you like a soap opera, okay. Yeah. Oh well.